Hi everyone, Scrappy Kathy here with a relatively small layout share. I haven't done a whole lot the last few days. I've had some back issues and it just actually hurt. It hurt to sit still. So I get some MRI results on Wednesday, and hopefully that will give me a path forward to getting rid of some of this pain. So anyway, this is and I have joined up and will be really hitting hard after the first of the year. Well, actually now, a spending freeze, and I'm going to be participating in the same one that my kind of awareness sort of freeze. It's called low buy spending chill, and that's what the name has been changed to freeze 2.0, I think, but I'm kind of, for my purposes, I'm going to continue with calling it low buy spending chill, in that I'm allowing myself certain things like my kits, my Mind the Scrap kits, and also the Vicki Boutin. I've found the best way to explore and enjoy her collections, or to order, when a new collection comes out, to order her mini book kits, and you get almost everything in the collection with the kit, and you make the book, and there's so much left over, and then I get that combined with what I get in the Mind the Scrap kits, usually gives me a pretty good mix, and so that'll keep me from ordering like full collections of things or collection packs and stuff like that. So so that's kind of, so I'm going to report on what I've spent. And this week I have actually had to order some printer paper. I think I mentioned last time that I had thought I would have to order some 12 by 12. And the reason I'm mentioning this is I'm going to have some things, 12 by 12 things I printed further down in. And I thought I needed some 12 by 12 printer paper or photo paper, but I found it had been curling in my, when I stored it like that. And so I laid it flat somewhere and then forgot about it and found it later, covered it up with some other stuff. So anyway, I didn't have to order that, but I did order, I did make a small order to help out a friend, and I'm just going to stop it. I'll leave it at that. And it was I'm going to enjoy everything I got, and it was a very good price, but I was helping out a friend. So anyway, this is from Challenge Accepted, and I'm using day 1 of the 12 days of autumn scrap lifts. That's this from Scrap Squad. And I used my Mind the Scrap kit, and this is a crazy lazy dog begging for belly rubs. And I thought it was perfect for this Lazy Days title from Bramble Fox. And I have my couple of sloths to reinforce the lazy stuff. And in the kit, there were these Prima flowers, there were the print shop flowers from Vicki Boutin, and there were these cute little icons from Garden Shop. I think those are from Garden Shop. They might actually be from a Jen Hadfield collection, because that was in there too. So there was Paige Evans, Vicki Boutin, Prima, and Jen Hadfield in that Mind the Scrap kit. Just really cute stuff. Love the kit. This is now I have some projects here that I finished. This is, originally used this sketch And I forget what day I did it. Maybe I could have it on the back of this. The 22nd of October. But when I got down to do my layout share last time, I found this in the bottom of the drawer, unfinished, and I decided, let's see, I'm not sure where this was, but it came off, and so I'm going to have to find a place to put it. Maybe I'll put it right here. So I looked at it, and it was completely blank, didn't have any photos or anything. And it was all done with the starter for my September Scrap Backwards kit, which was based on this collection right here, so cute, called Summer's End. And it goes back to 2011 or 2012, I forget which. So I thought, well, I had some Halloween supplies that I hadn't put away yet out of that kit. So I decided that I'd go ahead and Halloween it up, because I kind of wanted to use these two photos. I had run across them when looking for something else. I wanted to use those two from 2008, I think it is. It was our first Halloween after moving to Georgia. And so I used things to kind of take a fairly subdued fall kit and kind of spice it up with Halloween stuff. And this was lots and lots of fun, and you can kind of see how that came together. And I had this little journaling bit, and it was already in there, and it was just perfect to document that. So that was fun. And then this next one is a mixed media mayhem, and I used this sketch, which was one of the 4 that Christy Harriman of Christy's Beautiful Life put out in her own way of celebrating her 10 years on YouTube and 5,000 subscribers. And the Mixed Media Mayhem recipe from Scrappy Adam was monochrome, spray inks, circles, and bubbles. So I used these collage paper circles, and I just did them in, declining size. I actually started with the big ones first, so went up that way. And then I used some paper snips and some Flare Hut flare, and just kind of use those to have a slightly offbeat, kind of edgy Halloween photo of Ava in her Reese's peanut butter cup shirt. And then I used a tiny title called I Want Candy. Excuse me. Sorry about that. And then I got to, this was my weekly Scrap Backwards kit, using one of my destination sub-kits, if you will. And I have several small sub-kits that I made out of the stuff I had pulled into my kit. And here's where I kind of want to make a little bit of a point. I pulled a bunch of stuff into my September kit. Not my October, well, my October kit too, but I knew what I was doing with that. And I'll I brought in a bunch of travel-related things, because the starter sticker sheet was this one was where this came from, which was from Simple Vintage Traveler from Simple Stories. And so I just brought in all kinds of things with a travel theme. And in all of that, I had some a bunch of stuff that I hadn't used because it wasn't coordinated or all together, and I'll tell you what I mean in a minute. I'll show you, in fact. And it was kind of jumbled in a way that had prevented me from using it before. And when I brought it into the kit, I didn't change that. Just because the kit was on my desk and handy didn't mean I felt like going through and finding all where I had some elements that related to Canada, which was where all of this came from. There's a this is an Echo Park collection that had each page was a different destination. And there was Canada and Mexico, and you'll see I've kind of organized them throughout here. So at the end of the kit, I still hadn't used this stuff. So I thought, okay, now's the time. I can spend about an hour pulling together everything I have that relates to Canadian destinations, that places that we have traveled in Canada. So I pulled all the flair that related to Canada and the U.S. and, you know, different countries. And I've got all the Mexico stuff together. This is the Canada stuff, and I'll tell you in a minute. This is Australia, Japan, and then I've got the UK and the US and different places in the U.S., different states that we visited, and then, you know, I've got including Hawaii there, and there's some New York stuff and more New York stuff. So I have all this stuff, everything that relates to specific destinations, which has been jumbled up and unused in my collection for way too long, is in this holder, and it's handy on my desk. So it gives me ideas to go look for photos. And so I did this one this one was easy because I had a Niagara Falls sticker sheet, and so I went and got some pictures from Niagara Falls that I had not scrapped before. Now I have these things left. There's True North, Bouchard Gardens, Canada, and then another Canada. And so I have these left, and I thought, well, you know, I might not do much with this, except I know I have some photos from Bouchard Gardens, and I will look for those today. But I also have since this was my last trip to Canada in 2016, I thought I might go hunt down a photo. I know I have a photo from my very first trip to Canada, which was a business trip in 1970. So that's what I'm going to scrapbook today with this kit, and it'll be my weekly, my Scrap Backwards weekly. So it won't be this design, but it will definitely use something from that sticker sheet. And I do have another maple leaf flare that I will use, and I'll try to maybe have it look like a companion page to this, so that I can file them together in the album, like first trip to Canada, last trip to Canada. Maybe not last, but latest trip to Canada. So that's the story of that one. That's probably more than you wanted to know, but to see this come together, there is a video out there. Now, you may recall that I was doing, when I did this layout, I did it as a gift for my sister, and I framed the original layout. Because I thought I didn't have any 12 by 12 photo paper, I never printed it so that I could file it in my album. So I finally did that. And I don't know when this was made. Let's see, I'll tell you. August 14th. So, and it's called, it was using my Mind the Scrap kit, and it was for the Mind the Scrap Challenge, week 3. So I love this page, and Patrice, more importantly, Patrice absolutely loves this page. Then another 12 by 12 print, when I did load the Layout a Day challenge, if I didn't have another challenge going on, sometimes I did pages digitally, just completely. As it takes me about 10-15 minutes to do a digital page. As you can see, they're not particularly complicated or complex or detailed, and there's a lot of journaling usually. So I did this one with a Chamel's Never Grow Up kit, and it was about, the prompt was something about to scrap about something that turned out differently than you thought it might. And so I thought a great title would be this, which was actually in the kit, was one of the ephemera pieces in the kit called What If All Your Dreams Came True? And I told the story about the fact that I had planned to go on to school, continue in school after graduating college, and to bypass my master's and go straight for my PhD. And I had accepted a fellowship to do that. And quite by chance, when the companies came to town to interview for computer science jobs, and I knew nothing of computer science. I was a math major and had intended to go get my PhD in math. A friend of mine said, nobody's coming to, I was sitting in class and he passed by and saw me sitting in there by myself. Said, nobody's going to be here today. They're all going to interview. So why don't you come with? So I went and interviewed and got a job in IT and said goodbye to my fellowship, and haven't looked back. It was a 40-year career, and I've been retired now for, gosh, how long is it? My goodness, 14 years. So I enjoyed doing that. And that's what I looked like at the time that I made that decision. So I found that photo from 1968. Okay, enough about that. And this is one that I did with Vicki Bouton's Let's Wander collection. And I grouped a bunch of circles together and had photos of desserts on our road trip. I'd never documented the sweets on our road trip. And so I just kind of, I think the prompt was something about sweets. Not quite sure what the prompt was, but this met the prompt. And I just absolutely love this collection. I think it's probably, I've loved all of her collections, but I think this is probably my favorite. And I loved making this page. Okay, so here's a real page. And again, you know, that's printed on 12 by 12, but it's digital. And to me, when I just glance down and look at it, this one more so than this one. This looks like I really did cut circles, and I really did pull ephemera and put it out. I guess it's because I had this collection and did use it, the physical pieces of it. I still have some of it, but I never had this collection, so I don't, quote unquote, recognize any of this. I think I did have this brown wood grain, and I think I do still have that. But anyway, so this one is the last physical page I made, and it was for day 5 of Scrap Squad's 12 Days of Autumn Scrap Lifts. And I did this one for Scrap Squad Sunday, where I usually do the lift that comes out on Friday. Well, of course, things come loose when I'm doing my share. You're probably used to seeing me put things back together. Where did this come from? And more importantly, where does it want to go? I'm going to kind of slide it in there. I think that's probably where it was meant to be. These were paper snips from Bramble Fox. They're these wonderful things, and I used paper snips. I think 11 was the fall themed one, and 13 was the leaves. And then this 12 was Halloween, so I had all of those. And I used a Bramble Fox owl. I had used all the other pieces of that package on other layouts. And I used some Nuvo drops, not very well. And I did some die cut leaves, and I used a stencil for some leaves. I love this page, and you're probably surprised since I'm not a fan of the season fall. I do, and the fall colors aren't my normal bright colored palette, like say that one. But I love this. I love the idea of fall colors. And we don't get much fall color here. This is about it. That was about the one day, because all those leaves are gone from the trees now. And it's almost 80 degrees, so every day, the last few days. So anyway, I love this layout, and I love that kind of unusual design for organizing the photos. And I think I will use that design again. I think I have learned that design. So that's my share. And like I said, I bought some printer paper, and I've ordered some things to help a friend. And I will, I think that's about it. I think it's going to be a total spend of about $75 or so. And that'll be all for the rest of the year, I'm sure. Because right now, if I see anything I want, I'm going to subtly let members of the family know that that's what I want for Christmas. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.